My name is Sergeant Don Jackson. I'm a police practices expert retained to evaluate police conduct. My testimony today is for a Kentucky Board of Claims hearing regarding claimant James Whittemore versus the state of Kentucky. James is a 57-year-old disabled man with a number of medical issues and schizophrenia, as well as other mental health concerns. Mr. Whittemore reported that he was the victim of police misconduct that included a false arrest, followed by multiple acts of excessive force, including a bone fracture behind his left eye. You mentioned to me that he suffers from mental health issues and a number of physical issues. Why don't you tell me what those issues are?
Okay. He's paranoid schizophrenia real bad. He has high blood pressure and some problems with his stomach. That's about it. But he's drawing his disability based on his mental health. Paranoid schizophrenia was the last thing they gave us.
Okay, has he been seen by a doctor or a psychiatrist regarding his mental health issue? I'm assuming that he has.
Yes, he has.
Okay.
And he's prescribed medicine.
The Whittemore family requested dash cam video from the Kentucky State Police but were refused. PoliceAbuse.com filed a records request to retrieve the video. The video demonstrates that Mr. Whittemore was assaulted without provocation while handcuffed and repeatedly slammed headfirst into the rear left panel of a police patrol cruiser. False statements in the police report are exposed in the slow motion video. Mr. Whittemore is not 6'5" and 250 pounds as described in Trooper Cory Hamby's police report, nor did he attack Trooper Cory Hamby by headbutting him. Nowhere in the video does Mr. Whittemore attempt to gouge out the trooper's eyes, headbutt him, nor kick him in the back of the head. Instead, we see a 57-year-old disabled man suffering from a variety of mental health illnesses, completely defenseless as he is beaten while handcuffed by an overly aggressive young trooper who later embellishes on a false story of victimhood to cover up his aggression and misconduct. The story made its way into local newspapers unabated, but the real story has never been told until now. The savage beating by Trooper Cory Hamby left James Whittemore with permanent damage to his left eye, intense headaches, loss of sleep, and frequent bouts of nausea. In addition to the medical costs, the Whittemore family has been devastated by the harm done to James Whittemore's self-esteem and his standing in the community. One of the most consequential and important lies told by Cory Hamby was that James Whittemore reached up and grabbed his face and attempted to poke him in the eye. He also accused Mr. Whittemore of knocking his hat off his head. But if you watch the video in slow motion, you can see exactly what happened. Mr. Whittemore's hands were handcuffed behind his back. He was being shoved forward to his left, causing his arms to rise up on his right. The trooper's own action created the very thing he reported in his police report as an assault. Instead of Mr. Whittemore attempting to grab and gouge his eyes, it was Trooper Cory Hamby slamming Mr. Whittemore into the side of the vehicle to his left, forcing his arms, which were behind him, to go to his right. You can also see moments later that Trooper Cory Hamby's hat was also knocked off by the same action. Mr. Whittemore further reports that on June 17, 2015, at 2:56 p.m., Trooper Cory Hamby handcuffed him behind his back and body slammed him to the ground and then beat him in the face, breaking his left eye socket.
I said, how you know my name like that? And then I believe he threw me down. He threw me down over this way somewhere. He threw me down about right here somewhere. And I catch him and beat me in my face. Then when he picked me up, when he raised me back up.
We have conducted a comprehensive review of Mr. Whittemore's case. The review included 23 hours of interviews with the Whittemore family, a complete review of police reports, and an examination of all medical records relevant to the matter. We believe that the evidence we have reviewed supports Mr. Whittemore's claim that the police report is falsified and that it may have been written to conceal misconduct. In the press release, the Kentucky State Police spokesman told a local newspaper that Mr. Whittemore was intoxicated, combative, and that he assaulted Trooper Cory Hamby. In an article titled, "Hickory Man Charged for Assaulting a Kentucky State Trooper," a police spokesperson told the local media that James Whittemore headbutted and kicked Trooper Cory Hamby. According to Kentucky State Police, Trooper Hamby responded to the assault against him with a, quote, empty-handed fist strike, which caused Mr. Whittemore to immediately become compliant. In his report, Trooper Hamby claims that Mr. Whittemore headbutted him as he attempted to unlock the police vehicle. Quoting directly from Trooper Hamby's report, "I went to unlock my car door to open the back. Whittemore tensed up and headbutted me." Hamby further states that as he attempted to pin Whittemore against the patrol car, Whittemore reached up with his hands and grabbed Trooper Hamby's face and attempted to poke his eyes out. Hamby claims that Mr. Whittemore then kicked him in the back of the head and resisted as he stomped on the trooper's uniform hat. A police dash cam video proves what really happened. Trooper Hamby was never assaulted, nor did Mr. Whittemore do anything that would rise to the level justifying the force used against him in the assault by Trooper Hamby. Indeed, Trooper Hamby deliberately lied in his report multiple times. At 2:59 p.m., James Whittemore can be seen exiting the truck driven by a friend. Approximately 24 seconds later, Trooper Cory Hamby approaches James Whittemore and appears to pick up a bottle of alcohol which Mr. Whittemore had placed on the ground. The trooper pours out the content of the bottle, apparently causing Mr. Whittemore to ask him repeatedly why he poured out the content. James Whittemore tells the trooper to set it down. Trooper Hamby responds by telling Mr. Whittemore to put out a cigarette or he is going to jail.
Hold on to it for a second. Put that cigarette out.
Sir, I do not have to put my cigarette
You're
out.
getting ready to go to jail.
For what, sir?
You have an open container in a motor vehicle.
Set the whiskey bottle.
Trooper Hamby next tells Mr. Whittemore, "You and I are about to have a problem." Mr. Whittemore responds by asking the trooper, "How do you know my name, sir?" Nothing at this stage of the encounter would allow Trooper Hamby to use any force against Mr. Whittemore. Mr. Whittemore had not been tested for the consumption of alcohol, and he did not pose any immediate threat to the trooper.
You best lose it, Mr. Whittemore. You and I are getting ready to have a problem.
How did you know my name, sir?
Because you got complained on for sitting up there in the road with a whiskey bottle. You got your driver's license with you? How do you know this feller?
As James Whittemore repeatedly asked a single question, "How do you know my name, sir?" Trooper Cory Hamby apparently became agitated and told Mr. Whittemore, "Don't yell at me like that."
I live down the road from you.
How did you know my name, sir?
Because you've been complained on for sitting in the road.
I haven't been complaining over nothing. How did you know my name,
Don't
sir?
yell at me like that again.
Again, at this stage, there does not appear to be any significant crime committed by Mr. Whittemore, nor is there any threat to Trooper Hamby. However, 42 seconds after 3 p.m., Trooper Hamby tells Mr. Whittemore, "Put your hands behind your back."
How did you know my name,
Put
sir?
your hands back. Sit down there and yell at me like that. I've warned you.
Mr. Whittemore cooperates and he is handcuffed. Trooper Hamby states, "I warned you. You ain't gonna yell at me like that." At this stage, Mr. Whittemore has been arrested, apparently for his attitude, as there had been no test to determine his level of intoxication, and he was not operating the vehicle in which he was traveling. At worst, his offense would have been traveling in a vehicle with an open container, a misdemeanor offense punishable by a citation. At 57 seconds after 3 p.m., Trooper Hamby begins walking Mr. Whittemore back to his patrol car. This stage of the encounter is critical as it reflects on key issues raised in the trooper's report about his justification for the use of force. Trooper Hamby claimed in his report that after he reached his patrol car and began to open it, James Whittemore tensed up and headbutted him. He also accused Mr. Whittemore of knocking his hat off his head. At 3:01 p.m. and 5 seconds, you can see Mr. Whittemore's hands are behind his back and his stomach is against the police car window facing away from Trooper Hamby. This would have made it impossible for Trooper Hamby to have been headbutted, as described in the police report. Because Mr. Whittemore's hands were cuffed behind his back and the trooper was standing behind him, Mr. Whittemore could not have reached up and grabbed Trooper Hamby's face as is falsely reported in the police report, nor could he have gouged out Trooper Hamby's eyes as is also reported. Instead, it was the trooper who initiated the violence at 3:01 p.m. and 8 seconds by slamming Mr. Whittemore's head into the back of the patrol car without justification.
How did you know my name, sir?
Stop resisting.
How did you?
Approximately 28 seconds after the initial assault, Trooper Hamby slams Mr. Whittemore to the ground backwards onto his head, causing him to strike his head on the pavement.
You know my name, sir? How did you know my name, sir?
Stop resisting, James.
How did you know my name, sir?
Stop. 508, Mitchell. Stop.
This amounts to an unwarranted escalation in force. At 1 minute and 37 seconds into the encounter, Trooper Cory Hamby inexplicably gets off of Mr. Whittemore and walks back to his patrol vehicle. The move is improper if, as Trooper Hamby reported, Mr. Whittemore was resistant and violent. There is no evidence that Mr. Whittemore attempted to flee, nor did he make any effort to attack Trooper Hamby after the trooper walked away. This contradicts Trooper Hamby's narrative of an ongoing assault and resistance and combative conduct by Mr. Whittemore. At 2 minutes after 3, Trooper Hamby tells Mr. Whittemore to stand up. He assists Mr. Whittemore in getting to his feet. Yet, 12 seconds later, Trooper Cory Hamby slams Mr. Whittemore back to the ground a second time and begins yelling, "Stop resisting! Stay down!"
Stop resisting, James. Stop resisting. You done?
Trooper Hamby then places his foot on Mr. Whittemore and appears to stand with his foot on some part of Mr. Whittemore's body for an extended period of time. At 2 minutes 48 seconds after 3, Trooper Hamby radios to dispatch, quote, "I've got him in handcuffs."
Michael, can you copy? I've got him in handcuffs.
Approximately 7 seconds later, he radios that he was assaulted.
How'd you know my name, sir?
He's assaulting me.
I didn't assault you.
Stepped on.
At least 4 times over the next 10 minutes, Trooper Cory Hamby tells the false story to dispatch and other officers that he had been headbutted.
But I already had him sitting down, so I kind of slammed him forward, handcuffed him, and he kept fighting all the way back and headbutted me, and we went down. No, I'm fine.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. He headbutted me, but I'm
He's
good.
the guy we're looking at.
All right.
At approximately 11 minutes and 53 seconds after 3, Trooper Hamby claims again that he was headbutted by James Whittemore and that James Whittemore knocked off his hat.
Whittemore. Got any road rash or anything? No, I mean, I think I landed on him when we went down. He headbutted me right here and knocked my hat off. It was laying up on just hit your hat?
The video shows that Trooper Cory Hamby's hat actually fell off his head as he slammed James Whittemore into the back of the police patrol car.
How did you know my name? How did you know my name, sir?
Stop resisting.
How did you?
However, he repeats the false story again 12 minutes and 50 seconds after 3, and at 13 minutes and 5 seconds, Trooper Hamby makes another false statement. He, quote, kicked me somewhere.
Not you. Well, I mean, he hit the top of my head, but it didn't hurt.
You want to lay him back down, or do you want to keep him up?
And he kicked me somewhere. I don't even know.
We're trying to lay back down. Whatever you see. You want to bother? What happened?
No, I'm good, man. He's got a busted eye.
3 minutes and 9 seconds after 3, Trooper Cory Hamby tells James Whittemore, you're under arrest.
You're under arrest, James.
Oh, what?
Assault and police officer. Come on, boy, sit down.
How did you know my name, sir?
I told you, James. No, I'm sorry, we're on 1241. On the straight stretch from South 4 Way. It's Mr. Whittemore.
He is on 1241.
This report is being filed with the State Attorney's Office requesting a criminal investigation of Trooper Cory Hamby for knowingly writing a false police report. It is also being filed with the Department of Justice as an allegation of excessive force and civil rights violations. This report is submitted as evidence in a claim for damages against the Kentucky State Police.
My name is Wanda Stubblefield. I'm James Whittemore's sister. And I feel outraged to think that someone that's in authority, in the position that he has to protect and serve, would take advantage of his position to do what he did. Because you can look at his report versus what he told the newspaper versus what he said to the TV station. Nothing is consistent. And once I saw the video, I can see why. That someone would handcuff someone and beat them.
Sandra Yarber. I'm James' sister. I have taken care of James. I've been taking care of James for years. And I feel like that this trooper mistreated James to the max. And I feel like the justice can be served if anybody even look at this tape that they got out there. Because I don't really like the situation, but ain't nothing I can do about it. Because if it was, I'd have been and done something by now. And I feel like that y'all can do justice if y'all just study the tape. I'm not saying go and done this. You can look at the tape and put James where you think he should be, like I did. And as far as the truth, I know his name, but I'll never call his name. Thank you.
I'm James's little brother. And it makes me really mad to see my brother beat like this. If I could do something about it, like my sister said, I would. But I can't. My hands is tied. It is left up to the people of this county to do something about this. We don't understand why this happened to James. And it makes me mad, really. I guess you can tell how I'm talking. So that's really all I got to say about that.